Howdy, y'all. Activacil on roids here with another nuclear power grant. That's Activacil on roids, kryptonite for conservatives. I'm off my roids, off my rocker, and on the warpath. Here we go. Tonight, I'm going to issue a call of action to the entire progressive movement, to every liberal worth his salt, to every registered Democrat from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, from New York to LA. We need to get out and vote on Election Day in November 2014. We have to do this. We cannot pass this up. It's a bad year for Democrats, or at least that's what the pundits say, even though Republicans are doing a very good job eating themselves and sabotaging their own chance of getting the Senate. The recent Supreme Court rulings have pretty much neutered the president's chance at making any real recess appointments, which means that obstruction is now to the point to where it will be pretty much enshrined in law. And we can't mess up this opportunity. We can't. We have to hold on to the Senate, and we need to make as many gains at the local and state level, Koch brother money be damned, that we possibly can garner during this next election. The state and local elections are what really matters. The Republicans figured this out a long time ago. Take over the states and you can run the country. And state and local elections are dirt cheap in many cases. That's why the Koch brothers and their affiliates, the Americans for Prosperity and the American Legislative Exchange Council, sink so much freaking money into getting these cheap local and state level elections. And you can buy a lot of media in some of these cheap-ass red states. We can't fuck this up, guys. I know I'm making this call to action a little bit early, but I can't stress the importance of this election enough. And to all you naysayers out there who continue to push this whole false equivalency narrative about the two parties being the same, they're not the same. A good number of these assholes who claim that the two parties are the same are either right-wingers pretending to be independents, claiming this, or pretending to be liberals who are trying to demoralize us before the elections, or they're just a bunch of old Green Party naysayers who never could get over the fact that this is a two-party system, whether for better or for worse. I don't like the two major parties any more than many of the Green Party and other third-party groups, but the truth of the matter is the Democratic Party is the only game in town, specifically the Progressive Caucus within the Democratic Party. And we need to remember that if the Democrats lose, we lose. We will fucking lose if the Democrats lose. The Democrats aren't trying to take away a woman's right to her own body, her right to do with her body as she pleases. The Democrats are not trying to enshrine in law the inequality between men and women in the workforce. The Democrats are not trying to make it where the National Labor Relations Board is completely toothless because our president isn't able to make appointments. All right, making it where unions, because of the recent Supreme Court ruling, making it where unions, in effect, may as well not even exist in this country. And lastly, the Democrats are not the ones putting Scalia's and Clarence Thomas's on the fucking SCOTUS. Get that through your fucking heads. I don't want to insult my fellow Democrats on this issue, but damn it, it gets fucking frustrating. It gets frustrating how every midterm election we lose state and local elections that we have no business losing. Again, I think Marcos Melitza from Daily Kos put it best when he said that, well, when he said, and I'm paraphrasing, of course, when he said that Democrats will find a way to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. The truth of the matter is, this is a bad year for Republicans because they are eating themselves. And the thing is, there are 72 million Democrats in this country. 72 million Democrats. Keep this in mind. There ain't no more Republicans that can be registered for the most part. Most of the evangelical, rural, or exurbian at most, married white males, that contingent has been registered to death. There's nothing left to register there, and Republicans have got themselves in a situation where their demographic, their specific little demographic, is the thing that they are pretty much cornered into pandering to. All right? Their shit's not growing. Ours is. And whether Texas goes blue or Georgia goes blue in the next 20 years is irrelevant when we consider the fact that we already have all the tools we ever needed to win if only we'd grow a pair and go to the fucking polls during midterm elections. Republicans, the biggest fear that Republicans have during a midterm election is that Democrats will get organized and do what they did in 2006. On November 7th, 2006, we won big because the voter turnout was up among liberals. Okay? All right? Okay. The 2010 midterm elections, the only reason Republicans won in 2010, the only reason that the Tea Party carried the day in 2010 was because voter turnout went down by over 8.5 million votes. There's no excuse for allowing our turnout to go down. If we, the 65 million Democrats, 65 million people voted for Barack Obama in the 2012 presidential elections. Some people say it's 63 million, some people say 65. I'm looking at two different sets of numbers here, but either way, he had a 5 to 7 million lead over Mitt Romney, who got roughly the same number of votes as John McCain, which shows that the Republican electorate is not growing. It's staying static at around 57 million voters. Independents are not going to them anymore. We have no excuse for losing. None. If we lose this, if we lose badly in this midterm elections, we have only ourselves to blame. Because there are 72 million Democrats in this country, and if we would learn to vote during midterms as heavily as we do during presidential election, during midterms, the elections that matter the most, because local and state politicians are the ones that we have to deal with on a daily basis, the ones that make and apply laws down at our level where we live, in our counties, in our precincts, in our cities, in our towns. We have to get into the habit. We have to make sure that we are consistent in voting in midterm elections in just as great a number as we do during presidential elections. It is completely essential, and we have to do this for a sustained period for at least 20 years. Enough so that we can erase the damage caused by gerrymandering. Turnout is key. Turnout is key. If you voted in the presidential elections, but you didn't vote in the midterm elections, if you sit on your ass and be a couch potato liberal instead of being a ardent fighting liberal, if you don't get out there and vote the way you say you will vote, then you have no one to blame but yourself. And you're going to make me ashamed to even call myself a social democracy advocate, a progressive, a liberal. You're going to make me ashamed to call myself a civil activist. If you can't get out and vote on November 7th, I believe it's the 7th. Nah, probably, I don't know. The actual day in November of 2014. All right? We do this to ourselves every bit as much as the Republicans do it to us. And we need to start manning up and understanding that we have seen the enemy, and it is us. 72 million Democrats. And at least 14 million of them tend to stay home during presidential elections. What the fuck, dude? Get out and vote in November. Or don't complain when your rights are stripped from you, when what's left of your commonwealth in this country are slowly funneled into the private hands of a few. Because if just 80% of Democrats showed up and voted consistently in every midterm election, Republicans would never be in a position to fuck with us again. They would never be in a position where they could bend us over a table and do us Kobe style again. %. If we voted in the same numbers in midterms as we do during presidential elections, the conservative movement would never have gotten as far as they have. Libertarian right-wingers would not have the outsized influence that they have that betray their small numbers. They would not have it. They would have been relegated to the dustbin of history a long time ago. And I'm saying all of this because I have made the mistake of sitting home on election days, during special elections and during a midterm election in the past 10 years. And I regret every freaking second of it because I was either too lazy or because I had a job or something that I had to do or because I wanted to sleep in or whatever the reason. But we can't be apathetic anymore. Apathy leads to a conservative right-wing victory over us. Internalize this message, because I'm going to be releasing another video right before November 7th. I believe it's the 7th, 2004. It may not be the 7th. Let me look that up real quick. But you understand where I'm coming from with this. You know, y'all probably already know what day the election is on, and I'm going to have to go look that up myself. It is on the November 7th, isn't it? Damn. All right. It's Active Asshole on Roids. Peace out. And please, please get to the polls, damn it. Our fucking country's commonwealth is literally depending on whether or not you show up. And I show up. Bring a friend. Bring 2 friends. Just make an excuse to go out and vote. Peace out, guys.